What's going on, all you Elliot Page enthusiasts out there? Your two favorite Umbrella Academy members are back tonight. That's my good friend over there, Logan Hargreaves. And I'm Henry Hargreaves. We are back tonight and we're talking about the final season of the Umbrella Academy, season 4.
We're a bunch of losers.
That's right, these two wild uncles are back for yet another review of the Umbrella Academy, the fourth and final season. We've been following along since the first season. Comic created by Gerard Way, singer of My Chemical Romance. First few seasons had a really huge following. COVID hit, set back season 3, and then final season is apparently only 6 episodes compared to 10. But we, of course, pick up with the Hargreaves family, everything they've been through as children, growing up in this kind of weird mansion, the weird father, of course, and all different personalities, and them growing up as adults, coming back together to save the world.
Yep, all the Hargreaves are back this season. We have Victor Elliot Page. Tom Hopper's back as Luther Hargreaves. And apparently he's stripping this season, isn't he? He was on the stripper pole to begin the year. We saw him down into, basically a banana hammock. So that was interesting. We have Diego, Allison, our favorite, Klaus, number 5, and Ben Hargreaves. They're all back, all members of the Umbrella Academy. And you're right about COVID. When that hit and pushed the series back, it felt like it just never recovered. It was so far from everybody's minds after the first 2 pretty strong seasons. And then I felt like season 3 came along. I had already forgotten what had happened, with the first 2 seasons, kind of finally got their bearings. And then, for whatever reason, we get a 4th and final season, and it's noticeably shorter season and just kind of ventures off into, the multiverse. It seemed that they played with this. So I don't know if they were going with source material here, if this actual story that they followed in this final season was from the comics, but to me, it felt, disjointed, clunky, and wasn't a great ending for this series and for these characters who I wouldn't say grown to love, but, have grown to like. And, certain characters, especially Klaus, we had a great time with and always enjoyed seeing him up on the screen. But yeah, this season starts out, we have Victor getting kidnapped. And, it kind of goes from there, introduces a couple new faces to the series here. We have Nick Offerman coming in as Gene, and then his real life wife, Megan Mullally. At least I'm pretty sure that's who it was.
Yeah,
playing the other Gene. Yes, it was Dr. Gene Thibodeau's doctors here. So they introduced those 2 characters here who are, very much interested in the members of the Umbrella Academy. They're leading this group called the Keepers. And also, we introduced David Cross to the cast this year. So it's cool seeing a couple new faces show up along the way. But you asked me, roughly a week removed from having watched the series, what happened and did I like it? I can tell you that, I can't really put all the pieces together because, it moves so fast, went into a lot of different areas here with all these characters. And, I was left saying to myself, what just happened? And we're over, I guess. I guess that's how we're going to leave these characters. Felt like we didn't even get these characters resolved. Like there are a lot of issues that are just kind of left hanging here at the end. So they rushed this relationship between Five and Lila. They went along to a different timeline. They hop on the subway and they're basically, in their world, they were gone for 7 years. So they kind of fell in love. It had this weird side story. And, Lila was supposed to be married back in the real world with Diego, of course, and they were having problems back in the timeline. So it just felt like a lot of random stories all jumbled into one this season is basically what I'm trying to tell you.
I mean, that's pretty much it. It was hard to follow because it's all this random side stories going on and timelines and multiverse like everybody's doing these days.
Mm-hmm.
Taking it from the MCU, and it's not that interesting. This is the final goodbye to these characters, which I really loved the first 2 seasons. started, season 3, not as much, the writing wasn't as strong as you said, had that little break there. So you kind of forgot what happened. And those, seasons were 10 episodes and then you have 6 to really tie up all these loose ends, all these characters, and they didn't really do that. I didn't really like the approach this season, but I still like number 5, Aiden Gallagher. He's always great. He's grown up on screen before us. He was a little kid and, older now. And of course, you had Luther, Tom Hopper, which was like normal in the first part of the season. Then he got all big and hairy again, like Luther, which is funny. David Castaneda playing Diego was kind of like the dad this season. Family had like a bit of the dad gut, and out of shape when he put the suit on, and it was pretty funny with that aspect. But Klaus is always my favorite. Robert Sheehan, fantastic actor. He looks like a young Brandon Boyd, too, reminds me of, but he's always brings a comedic relief to the seasons. He was really great this season. One episode that had to do with him getting buried alive and trying to get out of that situation, which was really cool. But Vanya, of course, Elliot Page, it's always kind of the same with that character and coming through in the clutch to save them all kind of thing.
Chases and some crazy monster at the end that I didn't quite understand, like where it came from and what that was all about. But of course, they all had to join forces at the end, and that's how kind of the series ended, with all them, joining forces, using their powers, having met over the holidays and sort of let bygones be bygones between them, and realizing they were a family again and all together. Having been apart for a lot of the show, they all came together in the end. So that was cool. Like you mentioned, Klaus, he was always phenomenal. His whole arc here, even when the writing wasn't great, he was always awesome. And this year it was interesting because, he had been pretty wild in season 3 and the years past, battling drug problems and alcohol problems. And this season he was sober and kind of thinking clearly. And, he changed too this season, which was interesting. Number 5, like you mentioned, yeah, he really did grow up. How many years have went on since the first season here, roughly half a decade, but who knows how long the filming of it, lasts. Yeah, number 5 looks like he could play, Batman, Robin, Dick Grayson in like a Batman film or something like that. He has that look. Yeah, he really does look like the boy wonder there, you could say. The other characters, yeah, like you mentioned, Diego, he was having problems with his life, trying to be the dad, delivering packages for like a UPS company. And the big bad and of the season and the keepers and all that brought him out of retirement. And I like the whole scene with him kicking ass, and he got in shape for when they took their shirts off by the mid-season, or the last couple episodes. So they got into fighting shape. They got to do some cool stuff before it all ended here. But yeah, it just felt like a kind of a rushed final season here, just to kind of get it out of the way and move on and get these actors in some other projects here. And I'm fine with that because, yeah, it just too many years had passed since the previous seasons, and there was a lot going on all the time. The writing wasn't as precise here. But overall, the series was, decent, I'd say. Wasn't one of the greats like I was hoping it would be how it started. But, that's okay. The ending was weak. We can say that. The final season was a letdown, unfortunately.
Overall season, huge letdown. I wasn't really looking forward to it. I remember seeing like a few trailers and like whatever. And then I saw it pop up on Netflix, only 6 episodes. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll give it a watch. Took a few days, but never really got fully invested into it. Didn't care for what they did with the story and the characters. Klaus being my favorite, number 5 were really great. Luther, Diego were pretty good, and the rest of the cast, but just not as satisfying as the other seasons. Final episode, how everything goes out, really fell flat for me. I thought it was a totally wasted opportunity, and how they ended it was just kind of silly. That being said, I'm going to give season 4, the final season of Umbrella Academy, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Number 5, hair pieces.
Yeah, so long, Umbrella Academy. I wish you got a better send off than you did. It was, fell flat this final season, rushed and all over the place, and didn't give these characters, justice. Didn't do them justice. They deserved a better ending. They deserved an epic ending. Kind of just, there was a big monster and they joined forces, and then it cut to black, kind of. That was it. I expected something way better for these characters and following them these, half a decade here. So it's a bummer, but is what it is. Overall, had a great time with this series. Just the last season was the worst of the bunch. So with that being said, I'm going to give season 4 of the Umbrella Academy, the final season. I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5 Gerard Way hair pieces. I hope we see some of these actors in some other projects. Like the actors themselves were all good and solid, especially Klaus. Yeah.
He was in an English show. He was in a popular English show. He's English. But
I need to get the BBC and watch that man because he's awesome.
Yeah, I like to see Aidan Gallagher too. Number 5. I thought he was good. Good young kid, good actor. Love to see him in some bigger, projects. Maybe James Gunn DCU. Hey. I'd see it. I'd go see that movie. Plays Robin.
Give him a call, James.
So I want to hear from all you wild Hargreeves impersonators out there. What did you like about the Umbrella Academy season 4, the final season? What didn't you like about it? What's your favorite season of the series? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, check out these wild rascals on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com, for the latest, greatest TV, movie news, and reviews.
So thank you guys for watching our review of season 4, the final season of the Umbrella Academy. And until the next time, I'm Uncle Henry Hill.
And I'm Uncle Logan Hargreeves, signing out until the next TV review. Cheese!